You have another project in mind too, don't you?
Yeah, which one?
Yeshiva.
I'm in the yeshiva.
All together in one unit?
But you know what I call yeshiva? I'm in a yeshiva. What's yeshiva means learning. You're sitting and learning.
So all this in one
Yeah, you
complex.
see what it is. I don't want to say anything bad. You touched a very delicate thing, and I didn't want to say it. But if you said it, I'll tell you the truth.
Why don't you
From
tell
my
me the
heart to
truth?
God.
Then I want to ask you about another question
Okay,
which
good.
extends from this.
Brother Phil, you're a good man. I couldn't lie in your presence. You know what the problem is? We don't have good rabbis in the world. All our rabbis are good funeral directors, and even that I'm not sure if they know how to do properly. The way they do weddings, you know, sometimes I close my eyes and I listen to the melody of the wedding, and I say to my friends, is it a wedding or is he making broch over Coca-Cola? It's the same enthusiasm, the same fire, the same joy. Nothing. You know, we need rabbis who really know how to bring God's word to the world. You know, sometimes I see young people getting married by a rabbi, right? Okay, I'll tell you a story. I met this couple who was just about to get divorced. I asked them, what happened at your wedding? So they told me like this. They went to this rabbi and they told him, you know, we are poor students and we cannot afford so much. What's your bottom minimum you charge for a wedding? Okay, you know, he figured it out with his wife and with his maid, you know, and everything together. Okay, he came back and he says, my bottom minimum is $25. He says, be in my office on Sunday morning, 10 o'clock. Okay, they're coming 10 o'clock Sunday morning, and the rabbi says, will you please hurry, you have to go to a funeral? Because a funeral pays at least 50, you know that, right? Okay, you can imagine with how much joy this wedding was conducted. What we need, and I'll tell you something else, you know? I'm walking around all over the United States, all over Israel. The rabbis don't say anything on Shabbos. They have nothing to say. They speak for half hour, or for 2 hours, or for 10 minutes, but they're not saying anything for the neshama, for the hearts, some spiritual insight to give me strength to live another week. You know, I don't come to a synagogue to listen to politics. I turn on the radio. Okay, the greatest speakers in America, the great rabbis, what are they talking about Shabbos? You know, a few weeks ago I was in Washington. In this huge synagogue, 700 people there Shabbos morning, and the bar mitzvah. Instead of telling the bar mitzvah, you know, be a Jew, amen, be happy, do something with your life. He talks about Carter for half hour. And at the end, he says, okay, now that we bless the bar mitzvah, he should be a good American and a fine Jew. Okay, when I hear this, then I'm the greatest in the world, right? I wouldn't pay 5 cents for that, as much as minimum as, I'm sure bar mitzvah is $100 there, right? Anyway, it's a joke, right? We need people with fire. And you know what it is? Our young people today are so special. You know, I don't want to swear, but I believe that since the destruction of the temple, we didn't have young people like we have in America today and in Israel today, you know. The young people today are just pure gold. Pure gold. They're ready for the highest. And we're not utilizing it. So I would like to make a yeshiva with new rabbis, real rabbis, you know, fire rabbis. Wherever they walk, the floor should burn after they've been there for 4 weeks, you know. And we have young people who know how to do it, you know. Also, I'm very, very strong. You know, everybody's talking of women should be rabbis. Let me tell you my feelings. If the men rabbis would have brought all the young people back to the synagogue, who needs women, right? But thank God, the men rabbis drove everybody out from the synagogue. Give our mothers a chance to bring them back. Maybe our women will bring them back. They don't have to be called rabbis. If some man rabbi feels offended if a woman is called rabbi, call her something else. The name is not important. But we have to train our daughters and our mothers to bring our children back to Yiddishkeit, to bring them back to the Holy Land. So that's what I hope to do.
You're touching on a question I was going to ask you, and that is, how do you perceive other rabbis perceiving you?
Phil, you know, he's dangerous. He's asking such good questions, brother. Okay, let me tell you, Phil. You know, I'll tell you, for instance, yesterday I was in San Francisco, and I gave a little learning there and singing, and there was some kind of a very beautiful couple, both are chiropractors, and they asked me, they wanted to give me a little treatment. They invited me to come to them the next morning to the office. They cracked my bones and fixed me, right? Okay, let me ask you, and I was really downhearted, without energy, and they really gave me back my heart, my soul, my life, right? Imagine I would ask a straight doctor, you know, should I go to a chiropractor? He'd laugh at me, right? You know what's happening in the world? The world is shifting towards real natural healing without chemicals. And the whole world is shifting to it. You'll ask a doctor, he'll laugh at you. But let me tell you something else. I spoke to an honest doctor.
You're being a politician right now.
Listen, brother, listen to this, brother. I'm speaking to a good doctor. He says to me, from a cancer patient, I make $16,000. If I send him to a natural healer, it costs maybe $900. So I'm losing $15,000. You see what it is? I am like a natural healer, right? And the rabbis are like walking around with their chemicals, Sure, they despise me because I'm the biggest threat to them. Because, you see, don't you think they know they're bankrupt? They know they're bankrupt. The way the rabbis are going now, 20 years from now, we won't even have people to say Kaddish anymore. Because the grandchildren of those people who are saying Kaddish now, they won't waste the time on saying Kaddish. Let me tell you an unbelievable thing. Told to me by a soldier in Israel. I'm meeting a young soldier in Israel. Says to me, I went to the big synagogue in Tel Aviv for 1 year to say Kaddish. The rabbi never said one word to me. You see a young soldier walking in. This young soldier is holier than you, Rabbi, because he's ready to die for Israel any minute, and you're sitting there drinking orange juice, making phone calls. If I would see a young soldier coming into synagogue, I'd kiss him every morning for coming. He says, I was there for 1 year and didn't say hello to me. What kind of a rabbi is that? Okay, I will not condemn all the rabbis in Israel. Something is happening in Israel also. They realize, the rabbis, we have to do something, But it's not enough, It's not enough, and they go so slow. Mamish, Phil, if you would come to Mamoshav, you'd see 160 people, fire. Every Shabbos, hundreds of Israelis coming to be with us for Shabbos.
How about if we do a television show from your Moshav in Israel?
It'd be unbelievable,
there
brother.
You go. Okay, that's a good
brother,
idea.
That's the greatest
That'll
idea.
happen by the end of the year. Our viewers in New York and Los Angeles would like to have you close off with a song. And you can look in that camera, and I'll tell you that 20 years from now, today, this song will be seen on television.
Brother, okay.
And the record button is pushed in.
Brother, I'm inviting everyone here to my daughter's wedding 20 years from now, Don't let's sing Tov Lahidus.